Check out great deals at Safeway. This week at Safeway, 1 pound of strawberries or 6 ounces of blueberries, raspberries, or blackberries are 3 for $12. Member price. Plus get value packs of USDA Choice Boneless Beef Tri-Tip Roast, untrimmed twin packs for $3.87 per pound with digital coupon. Limit 2 packages. And local green or red seedless grapes for the member price of $1.88 per pound. Also at Safeway, 16 ounces of Jennie-O turkey. Selected varieties are buy one, get one free. Visit Safeway.com or head in store for more deals.
How long was Neil Armstrong actually on the moon? When did Europe start speaking English? Did Marco Polo really go to China? CuriosityStream is the streaming service for all things history, plus science, wildlife, and more. What's the real story behind the Mona Lisa? We've got that. What caused the collapse of Rome? We know. Where did we find mankind's earliest ancestor? Come find out. For the holidays, give the gift of curiosity with 25% off gift cards for your curious cohorts. It's holiday shopping season at curiositystream.com/gift.
Hey guys, this is Matt
and Amanda
from Deep Woods Paranormal. Welcome back to a paranormal podcast or video podcast if you're watching on YouTube. Today we have a really special guest. The gentleman's name is Ken Burris. He runs the Ghosts of Camel Maine YouTube channel. He also has his own paranormal team with the same name. And he lives in a house that is pretty much haunted.
Seriously haunted.
Yeah, seriously haunted. If you were going to put the label haunted on somewhere, Kent lives in this house. It's called the Lamb House. And so we're going to introduce Kent here and have him come on and kind of tell us about what got him into the paranormal and a little bit more about what he does. So, Kent?
Welcome, Kent.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for coming on with us.
Yeah, what got me into the paranormal? These spirits did. They, it's not something that I anticipated on. It's not, the paranormal investigations wasn't a hobby of mine. It wasn't something that I was even interested in.
Not even when you were younger? You didn't have anything happen? Nothing?
Well, yes, when we were younger, I mean, definitely had stuff that happened. Stuff that would definitely be supernatural. But, when you're a kid, you're so scared of the supernatural. You're scared of ghosts. You're scared of monsters under the bed. Hey, there's something in the closet. You just tend to shut it out.
Yeah.
So as a kid growing up, it's just something that we never, put our thoughts into. So it was something that I never really put a whole lot of thought into, even in my teenage years, my adult years. As far as the supernatural, I knew it existed because based on my faith. But as far as ghosts running around and, haunting people, no, I didn't believe that. I just felt like, people just had stories to tell. I mean, but I never believed in humanoid ghost hauntings until I moved into this house. Then there is no doubt, there's definitely human ghost hauntings that happens.
Yeah. I was watching some of your first videos from the houses on YouTube, and I want to know, what was the aha moment? Like, yeah, there's something going on, something weird is happening, but what was that? There is something happening. Like, what was the aha moment for you?
Before the aha moment, we lived in this house 3 years, but I worked a lot of hours. But my son and my stepson, Gary, was telling me that there's stuff going on in this house, and couple other residents from Carmel told me the house is haunted. There was no doubt stuff was going on, but that moment that prompted me to take a closer look at all this was after we moved into this house. And when I was in bed at night, there was a walking up the steps, walking up to the door, walking towards my bed, and I heard the female voice say, "Help me." And I thought my wife was talking in her sleep. That was the only logical explanation. So I sat there looking at the back of her head. Well, when I felt the tapping on my hip, and then the female voice says, "Help me, Kent." She says my name. Oh, yeah. I sat up in bed real fast, and I was looking around the room, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you know what? This is definitely not normal. This is definitely something supernatural. That was the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. That was the moment.
So you currently still live in that house?
Yep. I'm sitting in it right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Maybe something will happen when we're on our radio podcast.
Yeah.
But maybe something is like behind you.
Yeah.
This is our sanctuary. You don't want more spirits here. Things happen every once in a while. We see things every once in a while, but there's nothing permanent here that haunts the house.
Well, I have been on live podcasts, and people have heard EVPs, and they have seen stuff while on the live podcast. So you never know. I mean, you just never know when things will happen here. And there are times when just all hell breaks loose. All of a sudden, the activity is just off the charts.
Well, I'm prepared for that. I want to know if your wife is interested in paranormal at all.
She is not.
Okay.
She knows this activity's here. I mean, she's experienced multiple things herself, but as far as investigating it, she's not into that. No.
Okay. I just wanted to know because we, husband
I
and
dragged her into this, 20 some odd years ago.
Yeah, but
hey, come with me to a haunted location. Okay.
I was willing to do it only because I grew up with the paranormal. Like, it was always a thing in my house. My grandma would talk about it. My mom would talk about it. It was just a normal occurrence.
Right.
All right, I just heard an EVP, so if you're recording, you may have captured that.
Oh, we'll have to listen back for that for sure. What did you think you heard?
It was a male's voice. I'm not sure what he said because it was so fast, but I did hear something. At least through my headphones, I did.
That's good.
It's probably because we're wearing headphones. We're not wearing headphones.
Yeah, we maybe should have worn headphones.
Yeah,
so, 3 years after you moved into the house, you had the aha moment, and then you've been investigating ever since?
I wouldn't say investigating, because I had no idea what I was doing. But I started taking snapshot pictures and taking my cell phone and recording. And hold on a second. This is my cell phone. Well, no, not that one. Well, anyway. Yeah, I mean, I started recording it, hoping that I would capture something because I needed to prove to myself something was going on, that I'm not a nutcase.
Right.
I had to have something to prove to me that what I heard and what's going on in this house is real and it's not in our heads.
Right.
So, yeah, I started taking snapshots and started recording. It wasn't investigating. It was more proving to myself that this isn't in our heads. There's definitely something going on here. And once I started capturing that, it just blew me away. I mean, once these voices and EVPs and anomalies were captured on video, I knew it wasn't in my head. So then it was a matter of trying to figure out what this is because, my beliefs were, ghosts don't exist. So if ghosts don't exist, then what is this? I mean, your first thought is it's all demonic.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's something evil here. So I had to be convinced that what we were dealing with here wasn't necessarily all demonic.
Right.
And yes, and that was my next step, is trying to figure out what this was. Once I concluded, no doubt, I mean, these are humanoid spirits, then it was the next step was figuring out, well, who are they? Why are they here?
Right.
And
the research is about the house?
Well, when I asked the owner of the house the history about it, he'd said that, well, a caretaker was the original owner. And he did tell me that he built caskets.
Oh.
So I figured, well, okay, this is the house he lived in. You know, the garage, he must have built the caskets out in the garage. But I was thinking caretaker, you know, he took care of the lawns at the cemetery and, you know, just basically a maintenance person, basically at the cemetery. That's what I envisioned when he said caretaker.
Right.
But later on, I learned, no, he wasn't a caretaker. He was the undertaker.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and I was in this house started these recordings and investigations for a year before I finally learned he was the undertaker in Carmel.
Oh my goodness. So do you know if they ever brought any like bodies to the house?
They never lived in this house. This was the funeral home.
Oh.
This was the funeral parlor.
So they did the full-on autopsies and everything in your house.
Well, no, autopsies are done at the coroner's office.
Oh, okay.
You know, in a funeral home, they don't ever do autopsies unless it's special circumstances. Now, in 1912, when Naomi Mitchell was murdered, she was brought to this house and an autopsy was done in this house. But as a rule of thumb, I mean, autopsies normally aren't done inside, you know, a funeral home. But back in those days, it was actually called a funeral parlor.
Yeah.
Later on, that was changed to funeral homes. But, yeah, I mean, and we have concrete proof, without a shadow of a doubt, this was a funeral parlor.
So you have a lot of spirits in your home.
Well, you know, even then, a funeral parlor, you wouldn't think that would cause this type of paranormal activity. The question is, why would that cause this type of activity? You know, and I'm not superstitious, but based on what these spirits were saying, I felt like there was something a lot more going on here than just the fact that this was just a funeral parlor.
Right.
Happened here to cause this type of activity. I just don't believe a funeral parlor, all of a sudden there's portals open up just because it was a funeral parlor. Something had to happen to open up a portal. And this house has a couple portals, a dark one that's in the basement that goes into a dark realm. And then you have a portal that just leads into a spirit realm where, you know, most of your humanoid spirits are. But question is, what caused that? That's what took a lot of investment to determine what caused these portals to open.
So you believe that the portal, like the dark portal, opens from negative to activity in the house?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's really plausible. Like that. Dog. Sorry, the dog is jumping on me.
Yeah, before I figured that out, you know, the spirits in the house and upstairs, especially upstairs in my bedroom, they were afraid of that basement. And Ghost Chronicles Chapter 2, I'm getting ready to release on the YouTube channel, is going to go into details about that. But these spirits were afraid of the basement. And they kept saying basement over and over and over again. And, you know, I'm like, well, what's going on in the basement? Why are they afraid of the basement? And they keep mentioning evil and demons. You know, and eventually I learned that, oh, yeah, there's definitely a dark realm in that basement, an open doorway into a really evil realm.
That's really unsettling. I want to know what I don't want to get too much in it because you said you're going to release the videos, but what did you do to protect yourself from that portal?
Or from the negative energy.
Well, somebody said I needed to get a medium in here and have the place saged and confront it. I personally felt like, it's going to take a lot more than.
Check out great deals at Safeway. This week at Safeway, 1 pound of strawberries or 6 ounces of blueberries, raspberries, or blackberries are 3 for $12. Member price. Plus get value packs of USDA Choice Boneless Beef Tri-Tip Roast, untrimmed twin packs for $3.87 per pound with digital coupon. Limit 2 packages. And local green or red seedless grapes for the member price of $1.88 per pound. Also at Safeway, 16 ounces of Jennie-O turkey. Selected varieties are buy one, get one free. Visit Safeway.com or head in store for more deals.
I know what's going on and what I'm encountering, and I don't think that burning sage or having a medium in to come in here to confront it's going to do anything. And I was right, because I did let one come in, and the entity in the basement kept putting out her sage sticks. She couldn't even keep them lit, and basically she got chased out of the house.
Wow.
So the way I confront it is based on my belief in biblical teachings. You know, you just flat out deal with it with the power of your words, and you better believe in what you're saying. You better believe that what you're saying to these entities, that it's definitely something that you stand firm on. It's in my opinion, that's just my opinion, that encountering this and dealing with it, it's done through the power of your words. Once they realize where you stand and where your faith and where your thoughts are, they tend to back off.
You know what? I said almost exactly the same thing in a previous podcast, because my belief as well is that it doesn't matter what faith you are, as long as you have conviction with your faith, it protects you.
Yeah.
And
you don't even have to be faithful. You can just be a light worker. They have what's called a light worker, where they use white.
Yeah, but that's
white
like
light
a
to
faith.
chase them out of here.
Yeah.
I think that's like a part of a
And
faith.
then also,
it's a belief.
someone else told me one time, there's two other things you can do. You can remind yourself in a bubble, which I've told people that millions of times. It seems to work because it's a mental thing. They think they're protected, so they're protected. And then there also is the other thing I was going to say, which was basically just mentally tough. If you think they can't hurt you, they shouldn't be able to harm you in any way. But,
Yeah.
I rely on faith mainly.
There's just another EVP. It was a growl. So you might want to mark that on your recording. This is the way I confronted them at first. I just told them there's only one spirit I'm afraid of, and that's the spirit that created me and the spirit that created you too. And that's the same spirit that cast you out. I said, that's the spirit I fear. And you have to tell them, look, I know there's nothing you can do to me. You're powerless, which they are. I think too many people give demons too much credit of how powerful they are. Now, don't get me wrong. If you are not grounded in some type of faith and stand firm on that, they will overpower you. And it's all in the mind, through oppression. Yeah. And a lot of people that confront evil spirits that don't have any type of foundation and a strong belief system, they cannot end up getting attacked, no doubt.
And possessed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But the thing is, it's just something not to mess with. I know they're down there right now, but I leave them alone.
Right.
You don't mess with me and I don't mess with you. I mean, you stay out of my way. And it's just something that exists. And, I went down there and I used, the power of words trying to close that portal, but I don't think it'll ever really close.
It's been there probably a really long time now.
Yeah, but as far as closing it, and the problem is other people have come in the Lamb House wanting to do investigations, and there have some that went down in the basement and said things and did things that just basically reopened it again. So at this point in time, the Lamb House is closed to visitors at the moment. Because this activity, when they started wanting blood, and these entities started saying they wanted my blood, and I ended up getting these punctures on my wrist with blood coming out, and they're saying they want my blood. You know what? That's crossing a line.
Yeah.
All right.
I keep hearing like a whispering. I'm hearing whispering right now.
Yep,
Yeah, okay.
probably.
They're probably talking about us. As we talk about them, they're probably talking about us.
Hey, well, let's just test this out real quick. Are you guys here? Did you hear that?
Who is that?
The vacuum just went on in our house. We have a, I just got the chills.
Yeah,
I just got the chills.
goosebumps.
I got this. We have the robot vacuum.
Yeah.
It's set for 9 o'clock every morning. It's just turned itself on.
Well, that's weird.
It seriously is moving around right now and vacuuming.
That's weird. I don't know why I did that.
I'm gonna go look at it real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, she and I have lived in multiple places with paranormal activity.
It's right there. You can't see it, but it's right behind the chair. It's checking me right now.
How can I drown out the noise?
Wow, that's never happened.
Tell you what.
That off like that.
Let's do something real quick. I can't promise you I'll capture anything, but let's do this.
Okay.
Hello, this is Kent.
Should record that.
Are you guys here?
I'm gonna record with my phone.
Hello? Okay, I'm going to play it back.
Okay, let's see if you got anything.
I may not be able to hear it, but you should be able to hear it on your end.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Kent. Are you guys here?
Oh, I heard that.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I heard that too.
Hello? Okay, so that was definitely an EVP captured. Let's play that one more time. Are you guys here?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Sound like a child's voice. All right, and I had my headphones on, so there's no interference.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. When we get done here, I'll inhale and send it to you on the messenger so you can hear what that was. But that sounded like a child's voice.
Yeah, it is.
They respond no matter what, and the activity here is just completely off the charts. This is
it's flowing over somehow into our house because our house is new.
Well,
activity. And go ahead, I'm sorry.
I have heard that people that's been to this house, when they went home, all of a sudden all hell broke loose. Did you hear that?
I haven't been to your house. Yeah, I heard like a growl or like that.
There was some more EVPs.
All right. So,
Hello? Oh, it's a feedback. That's my voice.
Oh, I didn't hear feedback on my end, though.
There's something cold standing by right over.
Not only is the vacuum still going, it's like going in circles. It's seriously not moved. Because when that vacuum goes off at 9 o'clock in the morning, it has its own pattern. So it'll go to the left, around the fridge, and into the living room. It literally is doing circles over there. It's just circling.
You know what? It doesn't surprise me. Well, one of the ladies brought over her toy robot that walks and talks, and these spirits definitely can use electronics because it literally called her the F word.
Wow.
Her toy robot. I mean, that's not programmed to say the F word.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No.
I'm just
crazy.
The whole thing is just crazy to me. I wish I could, like, I video recorded it with my phone, and then somehow, hopefully, maybe we can, like, send out a video on YouTube or something so people
Yeah.
can see it with
I
our
just heard.
podcast. But I can't record it and record us at the same time.
Yeah, I think something just moved behind you in the doorway. I thought I saw movement. There's not just a sliver of the doorway I can see out of, but
So what's next for you, Kent? What is you said you're gonna do the new videos coming out soon, but what is next for you in your house?
Well, right now I stopped doing investigations in the house, and what I'm going to do for now is just go back over the last 4 years of recordings, and I just heard another EVP. Go back over the last 4 years of recordings and investigate the investigations, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because you might hear things now that you didn't hear before because you weren't as open to it. And I think the longer that you investigate or just, be in this field, when you go back and look at your old footage, oh, that's this. Oh, that's this. Because you weren't thinking of that or you weren't believing it at the time. That's thoughts anyway.
Yeah, I didn't know what to look for in the recordings.
Mm-hmm.
But I did find out when I'm going over these recordings, I mean, I missed a lot. There's a lot more going on than what I thought. They were definitely trying to get my attention, and they definitely had some things they wanted to say.
Well, I watched your YouTube channel. I haven't watched everything. I'm still playing catch up here. There are other things going on, but you've had a celebrity ghost that you actually were able to figure out who it was?
Yeah.
A woman.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yep, Myrna Fahey, and that was kind of shocking when I found out that she stayed across the street from the Lamb House in the summer times. I was like, wow, you got to be kidding me.
I bet over and visited your house.
Probably. Back in those days, everybody knew each other, and more than likely, she came over here. She's been in this house visiting.
Yeah, I watched that whole video. I thought it was really fascinating. I never heard of her before. So she was from the 40s, 50s?
Yeah, she was in the 50s and 60s, basically.
Okay.
I don't feel bad. Most people in Carmel never heard of her either. So, yeah, I mean, Myrna Fahey, but that was strange. I mean, I knew that there was something going on with the apparition with the lady in white with the long dark hair, and I knew it had something to do with children, but, Myrna Fahey never had children in life.
Right.
She died when she was 40, and I believe she just loved looking in on children. I mean, she wasn't there to scare anybody or cause harm. She just liked looking at children. And then Lacey was just one of the children that I guess she loved looking at.
Yeah, it sounded like she just came and visited.
Well, her heart was definitely here in Carmel. That's where her heart was at. I mean, you think about it, if you die and you're going to have to linger until whenever, I mean, where are you going to hang out? You're going to hang out where your most fondest memories are.
Right.
And, I don't think the Hollywood lifestyle is as glamorous as people think it is. If you think about it, there's so much drug usage and suicides and, they aren't the most happiest people. It's kind of like once you get so much and once you have so much money and you reached all your goals, what do you do from there?
Right. You don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
And then people are fake to you and they, it's like you're the most popular person, but you're the loneliest because they're not really liking you for you. They like you for
Right.
your team, and yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched all kinds. I'm a huge documentary person. I watch documentaries like crazy. I love that kind of thing.
She's very into stars.
Yes.
I think
I follow them. I'm into it. Like, what's happening with their life? How did they get there? Why are they like that? You know what I mean?
I think when dealing with humanoid spirits, when we have encounters with them, I think you have to use a lot of common sense. You know, I mean, you have to put yourself in their shoes and think, well, you know, why are they in this situation? Why are they asking for the help that they're asking for? Why are they here? I mean, and you got to dig and figure it out, but it takes a lot of common sense too. I mean, you're like, what would you do if you were them? I mean, I'm sorry, but if I was murdered, somebody suddenly took my life and I was murdered and I never got to say goodbye to anybody, you know, and I'm sure that's a very lonely situation, even, you know, when you're a spirit.
Right.
You know, you're taken away from your loved ones just as much as, you know, your loved ones.
This episode is brought to you by Utilize, the app that lets you rent anything to and from your neighbors. Rent paddleboards, trailers, bounce houses, and just about anything else. You can turn it into an easy side hustle by renting out the stuff you already own. Best of all, it's a greener way to live because you don't need to buy the party supplies, outdoor gear, or tools that you'll only use once or twice. Now just rent them, all for less. Download the app today. Utilize. YOODLIZE.
At Granger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call, clickgranger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
And of course you're not going to want to move on. You have unfinished business because you never got to say goodbye. You never got to finish writing the book of your life.
Right.
I mean, so it's just common sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's a lot of times, you know, they're trying to tell us something.
Right.
Yeah, because I have instances where I'll get woken up in the middle of the night of someone talking to me and trying to tell me something. And I try really hard to understand what they need from me, but I can't always.
Oh, it's terrible. The last house we lived in had a lot of activity. There was two very strong spirits in the house.
Yeah.
They were very dominant in the house. They kept bad things out. And I literally would go to the door after an investigation, unlock the door, and try and open the door, wouldn't open. But I know it was unlocked. And then I would say, it would hit me, oh, hey, stupid, clear yourself. You know, if there's anything with me, you can't come home with me. And then the door the handle would physically turn and open. And I'd be like, thanks, babe. Wait, where are you? And she's sitting 50 feet away on the couch. It's like, okay. You know, we had a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
Be asleep at night. I could hear her. She would wake me up because she's sitting there talking. And then I looked over and this little blonde girl, you know, pigtails, blue bonnet shirt, the baby doll shoes, and the knee-high socks. She comes walking around. She's like, "Oh, you're awake." I'm like, "Oh no!" Like, I'm sleeping. You come back later.
I can't. He says that I talk to people in my sleep. I don't always remember it. Like recently, we went to me and my mom went to Miss Molly's hotel in Fort Worth, and I kept waking up my mom saying, "What? What?" Because I thought she was talking to me, but there was a ghost there trying to get my attention, and I don't have like the gift where I understand what they're saying to me. I can hear them, but I don't understand them.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to hearing ghosts in the night in your sleep, in the next upcoming video in Chapter 2 of Ghost Chronicles, there's going to be a clip in there when I got woke up in the night, and there were multiple spirits in that room, in my bedroom.
Wow.
There was a death moan, this moaning. I don't know if you guys know what a death moan sounds like. It's when when a person dies, especially a cancer patient, you know, they will make this moan sound over and over again. And then it slips into what they call the death rattle, is when there's this gurgling sound coming from their lungs because they're dying. I mean, they're once the death rattle hits, it's any moment. That's why medical people call family and say, we need to get here, your loved one's going to pass. You know the signs, but there's a death moan that people will make when they're getting ready to go. Well, that night there was a death moan, and it was loud. I mean, it woke me up. And if it wasn't for the fact that this stuff's been captured on recording, I probably would have been knocking on the state hospital's door begging for a bed. You know, seriously.
Yeah.
It's a good thing it's captured on recording, because I know it's not me.
Yeah.
You know, that's completely Lulu.
Right. When are those videos coming out again?
Well, I'm working on it now. It's probably another week. Could be longer, depending on what I do. Is I get all the footage together first, and then I do the narrations, and then I'll sit down and talk about it based on, you know, trying to fit the pieces of the puzzle together, explain to everybody what happened. This is the thing with what's interesting about my videos. I read somewhere that somebody said, well, Kent just scripts all this. And I'm like, well, yeah, I do. But it's only after the fact, after I hear what these spirits say. Then I put it together. But basically, it's these spirits who script this. I just follow what they're saying and put it together so people understand what's going on.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't write scripts on this. I mean, I have no idea what's going to go on in each investigation. Even outside of the lab house, when I go on an investigation, I try to tell people, don't tell me the history of the place. I don't want to know, you know, anything you've learned about it. I want to do the investigation first. I want to hear if we capture anything, and if we do capture something, I want to hear what these spirits say. And I want to see if they're telling us what's going on. When I take the recordings back home, that's what I call the initial investigation. I mean, the first step of the investigation. I'll go through the recordings, and if there's stuff captured, I'll go back and reiterate based on what these spirits said.
Right.
And to get, you know, then I might go back a third time to get confirmation. I want to make sure that what they're telling me is accurate. You know, so I go back a third time, and maybe a fourth time, even outside of the Lamb House when I do an investigation. I'll go to a location multiple times just to make sure that what I'm hearing, what I'm capturing is what they're trying to tell me.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you live in a really cool area. I mean, you have all the historical homes. I've seen you on a couple of YouTube videos go into the old church, the old school, excuse me. And,
yeah.
That, like Jerome, I'm like, oh, wish I had something like that here.
The children singing? Is that the one you're talking about? The old school where I was standing across the street and you could hear the children singing?
Yeah, I could kind of hear them. I didn't have the volume up very loud, so I was like, he's hearing something, but we just walking around in there. It just felt haunted.
Oh, the old school building here in Carmel. Okay, gotcha. I thought you were talking about the old children's orphanage in Bangor.
I don't know if I've watched that video.
I haven't seen that video.
Yeah, that's called Ghost of Bangor.
I wanted to tell you that while you were speaking just a minute ago, I
heard it
in the back, in the corner of in your door frame. Something white, see-through white, came out a little bit and then went back.
Yep. Around the corner.
So if you're watching the video of the podcast, go back a minute from now and look behind Kent. because I saw like a white entity of some kind come out and then go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I mean, I see what I call mist apparitions in here all the time.
Yeah.
All this stuff. I thought there's something wrong with my eyes. I even talked to my doctor about it. But it dawned on me, I'm only seeing this stuff in this house and not other places. I'm like, this is before I, started investigating the house and believed in the paranormal.
Right.
But I really seriously thought I was having, there's something wrong with my eyes, that stuff moving in it, that I was seeing this stuff.
Like
even at nighttime, these black dot things moving across the room, and some of them are big, some of them are just a dot, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I've got some crazy floaters going on in my eyes. But like I said, I mean, once it dawned on me what was going on in this house, I got to thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I only see this stuff in this house.
Yeah.
And I'd see like at the corner of my eye somebody just walking, like, what the heck? And when I look really fast, you still kind of see it, but it just dissipates real fast. I'm like, wow. Kind of.
We know the feeling. We've been there, done that.
Yeah,
I
not
think I
so
just
much
saw
this
something.
house.
Yeah,
In the
no,
last house that we lived in.
This house is
Yeah.
nice.
It's a brand new house.
We
It
built-
doesn't mean anything though.
We had this house built, but the only thing I've seen here is what looks like a little Indian woman. I hope it's the woman. She's got really long braided hair. She's only about, I would say she's not even 5 feet tall. And I always see her from the back, or I'm hoping it's a her. But whatever it is, has really long hair down to about the middle of their butt, excuse me. And I've only seen her twice. Just looks like a really old woman.
I haven't seen anything in this house.
Thank
But
God.
in the last house, like 2 houses ago, we had doors open, the dogs would bark at nothing, the piano would play itself, things would move. Everything you can think of that is happening in your house happened in that house. Like,
TV would turn on really loud.
people would be there, and then they would say, "Hey, who's that person down the hallway?" And there's no one there.
We left home security cameras out to monitor our dogs because they were doing stuff they weren't supposed to be doing. And we caught footsteps, we caught a shadow.
Yeah.
I was happy to get out of the house.
So not all of your experiences, some of the experiences that you're having in that house we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
never thought we were crazy.
One of the things that's been nice about this house is learning about the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anything, these spirits have trained me to be a paranormal investigator based on trial and error, trust me. And I just saw just now, right there, one of those spark orbs that you see in this house, and I captured them on camera. It'll just like shoot a spark.
Oh, I feel look back for that because I was looking at the door. I haven't stopped looking at the door, okay? It's probably I missed the spark orb.
Yeah, we're both trained on the
Everybody's gonna have to go back and look for the spark orb.
But what's been amazing here is that some of these spirits actually help me by testing and understanding the paranormal. I mean, how it works. With devices that I would use, I would have them, help me test it out.
Oh.
It's just amazing how they've helped me understand how this works.
Right.
That was amazing.
Do you feel like you have been blessed with all the spirits in your house?
Well, I don't know if I'd say blessed. I mean, I can say when I started recognizing how powerful this activity is, I got on YouTube and started watching different paranormal investigators and got on TV and started watching some stuff just to try to learn about it. But I didn't see anything in a lot of these, shows or anything like that that can compare to what I was experiencing here.
Yeah.
Because I thought seeing apparitions and dealing with what I was dealing with, I thought that was normal. I thought everybody experienced that when they're dealing with encountering paranormal activity. And I thought paranormal investigators just captured apparitions all the time and, captured disembodied voices and strange anomalies. I thought that's what a haunting was all about. But I'm like, wow, I just kept watching and watching and watching. And I'm like, well, this house is definitely different. It's definitely got something going on here that's very unusual.
Right.
Now, I don't consider myself blessed to be with it, or to be around this. It's just something that just happened.
Right.
It's.
Oh, sorry, Ken.
Yeah, it's just something that was an accident.
Yeah.
Understood.
Well, maybe not. Maybe you're put there on purpose. But how many spirits do you think you have in the house?
Usually when I ask, there's quite a few, but I would say that on a regular basis, probably anywhere between 8 to 10. But when this activity is off the charts, it's like a doorway opened up and it's literally flooded with activity, multiple encounters.
Yeah. And do you think that most of the spirits in your house are pretty intelligent?
All of them are.
Yeah, they seem to understand what you're doing and stuff like that.
They are intelligent. They know exactly what's going on. They intelligently answer questions, and I'll tell you what, somebody comes into this house doing an investigation and a spirit doesn't like them, they'll let them know. They have no shame. They will tell them. Call them the F word, tell them to get out, call them names.
Yeah.
It's basically a verbal attack.
Wow.
And I think they know somebody's intentions. They know when somebody comes into this house that's just a thrill seeker.
Yeah.
And they will respond, but it won't be a positive way.
No, they'll be mad.
Yeah. And I warn people, do not come into this house to provoke them. I said, because the outcome won't be good.
Yeah, we don't like the provoke. We never provoke in our investigations. It's not something that we like to do at all.
No.
Right.
Even when I go into demonic cases, especially not. We just, we clear homes from time to time, and worst cases ever. I hate those cases. I absolutely hate those cases. Anybody who says they like doing the demonology is crazy.
Yeah.
I know you dealt with it too. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Sucks. Takes forever to recover from those investigations.
Yeah.
Clearing the rest of the month off the charts. We're not doing anything. And maybe going Bigfoot hunting, but other than that, we don't do any more ghost investigations. I'm too tired.
You know what? One of the things that really blew me away here is this old PX box obelisk that somebody sent me. And when I had that down in the basement, it was intelligently carrying on a conversation with me. A spirit used that box, PX box, to actually carry on a conversation with me. I took it upstairs to test it again, and sure enough, it worked just like a spirit box, or it worked like somebody was just standing there talking to me. And these spirits were using words that weren't even in the dictionary.
Oh.
Crazy.
That's when just, it doesn't matter if it's an electronic device, they can manipulate it. Even the TV set.
Mm-hmm.
They can use that TV set like a spirit box.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's my theory. When you lose your physical body, what do you have left? It's just energy. I always say we consume food to create energy, and our brains are like a computer, and they can manipulate us too. When somebody hears something in their voice, in their ear, I believe that that's something manipulating them, maybe manipulating the brainwaves a little bit.
Right.
So, because we're all just energy anyways.
Well, there was this one incident. I swear my cat, one of those spirits spoke through my cat. I'm like, yeah, I captured that on video. It's on one of the videos. I don't remember which one it is, but
I'll have to look through it.
I swear that, a spirit spoke through my cat because I was out on the porch and I was asking something, and it sounded like my cat intelligently responded to my question. I'd have to find which video that's in. That was quite a few years ago, but that was pretty strange.
I'll have to look through that one because I want to see it. Because I think that our dog is talking all the time. He makes the weirdest noises that sound like he's saying words.
That's a little one.
I want to see the cat video.
Definitely. So, what was, and maybe you don't want to reveal this, but what were some of your scarier moments in the house?
I would say in the last few months, the really dark encounters that happened. Mm-hmm. I did an investigation at the Southwest Harbor House in Southwest Harbor, Maine. And it was almost like the houses became connected. Oh. With the same activity going on at both places. It was almost like, to a spirit, their distance doesn't mean anything to them. I mean, it's not relevant to them, like it is to us. But something happened where it was like these houses became connected with the activity. And I'm talking about the dark activity.
Is that going to be in the Chronicles?
What's that?
Will that video come out with the Chronicle video?
No, I will never focus on that video ever again. I mean, that's called The Hauntings of Southwest Harbor.
Okay.
That's on the YouTube channel. I posted that some time ago, but yeah, that's something I won't focus on again. I will talk about basically what I learned from that eventually, but I don't ever want to go back and listen to those captures ever again.
No,
it was pretty dark.
We did this case in Wisconsin, and the first 7 audio responses were, F you, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill them, I'm going to F and kill you. I don't remember what the rest were. I was like, okay, I'm done. I just put it down. I walked away from it. I'm like, I know what I'm dealing with now. Screw you. I'm not going to listen to any more audio from you. And the KP just, oh my God, that thing just kept lighting up like crazy.
I think most people would consider running into an apparition has got to be the most scariest thing, but it's not. There's worse things than just running across an apparition. When I first started this, it scared the living crap out of me when I encountered them because it's not something that I was used to. I mean, this was something all new to me, but that was kind of my fault too because I kind of egged it on. I put them in a position that they revealed themselves to me in a form of an apparition because I demanded it.
I remember that.
Yeah, you didn't believe it.
No, I didn't believe they could do it. I mean, plus I'm starting to have a lot of doubt about a lot of things about this activity. I knew it was real. I knew that, it was very powerful, but there was just some doubts that I had. I'm like, okay, I hear your voices all the time. You move things around the house constantly, doors opening and closing. You're walking through here. I hear your disembodied voices, but what do you look like?
Right.
It was my understanding that in hauntings, you definitely, don't get me wrong, because I saw stuff, but it wasn't very clear, but I pretty much opened up the door to that. And it's just something that's happened ever since, because it's almost like once you give them that invitation, it's there.
Yeah. So have you had any funny things happen, or something like plays a prank on you, or you go look back and you go, ha 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 ha?
If there's one thing I'm glad about is that my wife doesn't do these investigations with me, and she doesn't look at the videos. She doesn't watch the Ghosts of Camel Maine videos. And the reason why I say that is because these spirits do tell on you.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, I haven't done nothing bad where I wouldn't want my wife to find out about it. I'm not talking something horrible I did, but,
Yeah.
you know, there's a couple things I did do in this house that if she found out that I did that, she'd been pissed.
Yeah.
You know, and
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
would have told on me. Good example. We were doing an investigation. Some paranormal investigators is here. You know, and I accidentally passed gas. I mean, we all do it. It's just a part of life. You know, I mean, but they started telling on me, and they even said Kent farted. You gotta be kidding me. I mean, seriously? You know, I was trying to act like it was the lady's sons that did it, you know, and play it off, and, you know, the spirits telling on me. I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's hilarious.
One of the things that I did is when we had a heavy rain, there was water pouring in the basement, and there was this old blanket that was next to the washer. I mean, it had been there for months. It was just folded up, and I'm like, oh, nobody's going to use this for anything. So I took it downstairs, and I set it in the basement up against the wall where the water is coming out because I was trying to do an investigation. And all you could hear is this loud splashing sound where the water is coming through. Well, a couple months later, she was looking for that blanket. Well, that blanket was destroyed.
Yeah.
That's going to be mentioned in the upcoming video. You'll have to see what happened with that. But it's like, okay, I know that if she did investigations with me, they would have been telling her that your husband's the one that's guilty while you can't find the blanket. You know? Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I haven't had a ghost tell on me yet that I know of. But yeah, I'm good. We'll give you listening for that from there on out.
Yeah.
Because we do, you know, every once in a while we go to places that are somewhat intelligent. So.
You know, it's another thing I can tell with the way they react. I mean, I know when I go to bed at night, I leave the TV on all night, you know, because to drown out the noise. Yeah.
Please, not just me.
I don't let him do that, but he did that for years. I can't sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, the talking? Oh, that's
terrible. Yeah. You got the fan going to help drown out the noise, but you kind of learn what these spirits like watching. You know, you can tell based on the sounds in the room. You know, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch music, and then all of a sudden you hear this loud popping sounds, and like, okay, so I'll put some music on. But, you know, it's just, you know, personal stuff like that happens. There's a lot of stuff that happens I don't talk about in the videos.
Yeah.
Right, because you're living it. You're living it. It's just videos on YouTube. This is your life, and, you know, you're almost like, since they're there all the time, they're almost like friends.
Yeah, they're part of the family. Or you're part of their family now. You guys are, That's cool, though, when you get to the point where you can, hi, I'm home, and blah, 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 and, you know.
Yeah.
I used to do that. And I never got a response, but.
Well, my aunt did that in her house where she was having a really bad experience with the old lady that died in her house, and she would like mess up the kitchen every time she left. She would open all the cabinets in the kitchen. She would pull plates down, and when she'd come home, all the plates and stuff and everything, it was a mess. Yeah, and then she started making friends with the ghost. It was the old lady that died in the house. And she said, "Hey, Martha," I don't know if that was her name, but "I live here now. I know this used to be your house. I know that you're there. We need to coexist. Can you please stop messing up the kitchen?"
Mm-hmm.
And she would talk to him every time she came home. And I would say, like, within a month, she no longer had messes in her kitchen. She would talk to her every time she got home, or whatever the ghost name was. She knew the name. She knew who she was. She got all the information from the person's sister from the house that and she made a friend, and no longer had paranormal activity. Like, she would see things out of the corner of her eye, but none of the major stuff started happening anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care where you're going, even if it's demonic, you have to be respectful. And you have to
Yeah.
be courteous, because what goes around comes around. I mean,
Right.
you have experience there, but something else may come around and hit you later on.
Yeah, I've seen people come in here and all they want to do is get a good capture, and they start saying stuff that really pisses these spirits off. I mean, I tell people you don't have to tell them to knock or do things. If they do it, they do it. I mean, they will respond when they want to respond and how they want to respond. Yeah. But there are people that want to stir that hornet's nest, and it just pisses them off.
Right. I think, they're not like dogs where they're going to do anything on command. They used to be people. So we treat them as such.
Right. And knowing your location, I always say know your location, know the history and all that sort of stuff. I know you don't want to do that when you go to certain places, but
I like not to know the first time I go too. I'm similar, but he likes to know everything, so that's how we work well together.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I know a name and I know when you died and I know all this other information, I can use that. Hey, John, this is Matt. I know you died in 1952 of a heart attack. Let's be friends, or whatever you want to say, and that's where you kind of start.
I like to know, that I'm going to go in there and I'm going to ask all these questions and I get to learn about them, and then I can go back and look and see if that information matches what I was told by the spirit.
Yeah, I like to do the investigation first, see what I capture, and then to see if the history or names that actually existed at that location can verify the activity.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Plus I don't like just calling somebody's name out. Like, okay, there's been people that have contacted me and asked me to contact their loved one that passed away, and I said, I don't do that. That's not something that I do. I mean, I don't practice spiritualism. I investigate activity just to verify there's activity there, and they're just trying to figure out what the activity is. But I don't go out of my way just to conjure somebody up out of a room of peace just to talk with them. So that's why, let's just say if somebody said that they're having activity at their house and their father passed away and his name was John Doe. Well, if I walk into the house and say, okay, John Doe, are you here? Well, I'm calling his name out. If there's something there, I would rather they tell me their name first before I actually knew who they were.
Right.
To me, that's validation. It verifies that the activity is real, and the activity is, you kind of get a lead on what's going on.
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
My vacuum is still going. It hasn't stopped. And it's in like the same circle. It's just circling.
Yeah, for the longest time we got this new washer and dryer, and this spirit loved playing with the washer. We had to end up unplugging it.
Oh my gosh. Because it just kept going and going.
Well, it was playing with the buttons. It'd make this music sounds with it. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh, yeah, mine makes music. Mine, when it's done, it goes doo-doo.
Yeah. Joshua, my son Joshua and I were sitting there. I said, Joshua, let's test this. I go beep, 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 beep. And then the washer goes beep, beep. Definitely a spirit playing with that.
Yep, unplug it.
Then I turn around and did the exact same thing I said. Then it was the washer made the beeping sounds. Beep, 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 beep. And I looked at Joshua, my son, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, we didn't capture that on camera, but I did capture it on camera where they were playing with it. But I kind of figured it was Hattie Lamb looking at a new washer, the technology of it, playing with the buttons. I don't know. I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you died in, let's say, the 1920s, and it's 2020 now, or 22 actually. I mean, the technology. I mean, they must be like they're living in the future. You know, I mean, you look around and like, whoa.
Yeah.
Stuff. I mean, we have phones that can do all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, insane. You can get on the internet. You can make a phone call. You can text somebody. You can email somebody. I mean, 15 years ago, you couldn't do that. 20 years ago, you couldn't do that.
Yeah. You know what? I've heard people say, well, I haven't heard it, but I've been told about it by others that there's people that go on social media saying, well, Kent's a tech pro. You know, all this stuff is fake, and he uses software and all this other stuff to manipulate the videos and stuff. You know, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I mean, this is a Windows 7 laptop. I don't even really know how to use a Windows 10. But to tell you how much tech smart I am, when I first started doing the investigations, I held my cell phone up like this. You know, and that's where you just got that straight line on the screen, and I hate that. You know, I can't watch something that does that, but I'm like, oh, well, I mean, you know, I got this or the other camera, and I'm like, right now I can only use this. Well, then somebody told me, they go, why do you hold your cell phone like that? We like to have a full screen, turn it sideways. I'm like, what? I mean, like that? They go, yeah. And I go, well, you can do video like that? They go, yeah, you get the full screen. I'm like, I didn't know that. You know, I'm not a tech person. You know, I'm pretty stupid when it comes down to this high-tech electronic stuff nowadays.
Right, but I think a lot of people, they don't believe so much that they just explain away every instance of real evidence. Oh, well, they probably, you know, photoshopped that, and they probably... The one thing that, you know, I want to do is have integrity and not do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And if we don't find any evidence, if the ghosts don't come and talk to us, we say that. Like, we're not faking anything.
Right.
But I think there's always going to be someone who says, they're faking it. Oh,
yeah.
They're always going to be a naysayer.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I mean, I even heard one say, oh, that's his finger going across the camera. And I'm like, you know how big my finger is? I mean, if I took my finger across the camera, I mean, there's no way I could get away with something like that. That's ridiculous. But you know what? I don't put these videos out, you know, to debate people about this. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is paranormal activity. If you believe in it, learn from it. If you don't believe in it, well, fine, move on. Yeah. You know, I don't get why these people that don't believe in the paranormal love to go on different YouTube channels. I'm not just saying mine. I take the comments off mine, but, you know, and they sit there and bash them and call them names, and, you know, it's like, my God. If you don't believe in it, don't watch it.
And don't comment. Why?
I mean, geez. I don't know.
Yeah.
Our comments, I review it before I let them go out.
Yeah.
You know, 99% of them are very pleasant and very positive. Really like the way you guys investigate and keep it up, blah, 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 which we're thankful for everybody that does that.
Oh, I got to the point I was being doxxed. People are going on the YouTube channel, you know, releasing information where my son lives and what my address is and, you know, all this other crap. I'm like, all right, you know what? They crossed the line. I'm not in this to be mingling on social media. You know, I'm not a big social media mingler, you know, so, and plus the vicious comments from trolls attacking other people that were leaving nice comments saying, oh, you know, this guy is a cult man. People that believe in this year. I'm like, you know what? I had enough of this crap. I'm not in this for the drama, all right? So I just cut the comments off. We developed a Facebook group page where people can go on there and comment and mingle with each other about these videos. And I've got admins and moderators that can moderate what's going on there. But when you're getting thousands and thousands of comments on the YouTube channel, I mean, as a whole, right now, the YouTube channel's had almost 7 million views.
Right.
As a whole. That's with all the videos combined.
Yeah.
And if you look at reports, if you look at reports in real time, there's probably, they get thousands of views every day, the YouTube channel as a whole. Well, you get thousands of comments. Well, I don't have time to monitor that. I mean, I'm not, and the down thing is you're responsible for your YouTube channel. If there's somebody on there that crosses the line with YouTube and violates community standard, you could end up losing your YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, because if you don't put a stop to it, YouTube will. So I'm like, you know what? Best thing to do is just disable the comments.
Yeah, smart.
I don't know how we got off on that subject, but I mean, it's just a part of dealing with the paranormal.
Right.
You just got to run into people that just flat out don't believe. Well, I opened up the Ram House so people can see it for themselves. I'm like, well, anybody can come in here and check it out for themselves.
Right.
I had an open door policy. I don't right now, obviously. The house is closed down, and I'm not even doing investigations in here at the moment. So I'm just working on investigating the investigations for over the past 4 years.
Right.
Yeah. Well, sometimes in the review, you find really cool stuff that you just didn't see the first time.
Right, yeah.
I've been there, Queen Mary. We were walking around the engine room doing an investigation at whatever time it was, 2 o'clock in the morning, and they had just had all their Halloween props out. And I started, going back through, this is like 3 months later. I was just bored. And I'm flipping through the photos, and I'm like, wait, where was that person standing? Wait a minute, they're not standing there. Have you heard the story of John on the Queen Mary?
No.
Okay, so they used to have emergency drills, and the guys would pretend, like it was, I don't know, a race or something, and they would try and jump through these metal doors before they slammed shut. And you couldn't stop them. They would just cut you in half or whatever. That's what happened to him. He slipped, fell, got cut about mid-shoulder to about mid-torso, and so he has one arm, most of his upper torso, with his head and half of the arm. And so I'm looking at this photo, and I'm realizing it's transparent. And the more I zoom in, I thought it was a Halloween decoration. I'm like, that's just hanging from the ceiling. It's just, and then I realized, no, I can see like all the buttons and everything behind him, and it looked just like an old Queen Mary worker. So
yeah, wow.
It's just cool when you go back, Bigfoot research too and stuff like that, and UFO research. But yeah, it's always fun. Anyways, Kent, is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because we're getting to we're just over an hour now.
Oh, wow.
So,
we talked for an hour.
No, I mean, that's yeah, I'm going to have my bowl of homemade chicken noodle soup when I get off here.
Yeah. So what would you say to anybody who wants to get into investigating the paranormal, like they're brand new, maybe they're like in their 20s or something like that, and they're like, this is what I want to do? What would you tell them? Would you tell them, nope, don't do it? Or would you tell them, go for it?
If I had to do it all over again, I would have never investigated this stuff. Let's just put it that way.
Don't open
don't. And I'll be talking about this in the Ghost Chronicle series, but at least in my case, in this house, what I've encountered, I'll never be the same again. That person I was once is gone. It's there's things that can permanently change you and permanently change your way of thinking when you encounter this type of activity. I would say if they go and investigate a location to see if there is really a haunting there, just out of curiosity, to see if they capture anything. But I wouldn't advise anybody mingling with the spirits, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know, do an investigation, see if a place is haunted, get your captures, you know, study your captures, but don't. If you run into a true haunting or there is something seriously going on, even that is evil, don't mingle with it.
Right, get out.
Don't mingle with it. I mean, you open that door, I mean, God only knows what will happen.
Right.
But, and if you're going to get involved with doing paranormal investigations, you better have a set of rules that you set for yourself and don't cross the line.
Right.
You know, just don't walk into a place without a plans, without, you know, having rules, what lines you don't cross. You know, because there are lines I will not cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good advice.
Yeah, that's definitely, we definitely have rules for sure to make sure that we don't do anything that we shouldn't do. Or anybody else with us doesn't do that as well. Like provoking, do not provoke that.
Yeah, this type of activity I'm dealing with can be extremely dangerous to somebody's state of mind, you know, and it's not necessarily physical attacks that can be damaging, but the mental attacks.
Right. Yeah, and they have a real mental breakdown.
Yeah.
With you know, certain forces.
Right.
Well, we've dealt with that.
Yeah.
Over the years, we've had people just disappear after an investigation. What happened to you? They won't pick up the phone. They won't text you back. Finally, you go over there and they're like just in bed, and not wanting to move, and they're in severe depression, and you know, this is like the happiest, go luckiest person you want to meet, and they're just, you know, they've had some kind of attachment come onto them, or they just, you know, they said something stupid and they triggered a demonic attack or whatever. And so I would say you don't know what you're talking to when you go into a location. You have to be so careful, because you piss something off and, you know, take it from somebody who's done it. You know, you'll pay for it later.
Yeah.
Well, on that happy note, jeez, it got dark there for a minute. It's a little dark. So tell us again one more time about the Chronicles. That's going to come out like in a week and a half or 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm working on it now. Ghost Chronicles Chapter 2 will be out in about a week to 2 weeks. And then I'll move on to Chapter 3, move on to Chapter 4. And then somebody else is going to take it over. I can't say any more than that. You know?
There's just a little tease there. I understand.
You know, it's somebody else is going to do a documentary on the final part of Ghost Chronicles. So,
well, that'll be something to look forward to.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we thank you so much for taking the time to come on our podcast. We really, truly appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
And you're definitely, I think, one of the most fascinating people that I've spoken to in a long time. So.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, it's these spirits. I mean, they're fascinating. And when you encounter this type of activity, you just learn a lot.
Yep.
You know, yeah, I still don't fully understand it, but I understand it a lot more than the first day I picked up a camera. I even understand now you can go like this.
Right?
I got a lot of understanding.
Than you were before.
Well, I mean, we've been doing this almost 30 years combined. I mean, together.
I mean, if you added us together, but
Right.
we still learn. I constantly make mistakes. No one's perfect.
Well, it's a constant learning process. You're
Yeah.
There's always new gear coming out. There's always this and that. And so, every investigation is different. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, if you want to stay on the line, we're going to stop the recording so we have an ending.
Okay.
And then we can just talk real quick.
Just don't hang up at the end of the call because if we're here, we might lose you.
We might lose you. Hold on
Okay.
one second.
Hold on, let me
All
stop it. So, Ken, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Have you in the future, but we look forward to seeing your new Chronicles come out, and we're super excited about that. If you haven't checked out Ken's page, go to Ghosts of Camel Maine and look up the Lamb House. It's just amazing, all the crazy stuff he's captured on camera. So
really great videos.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Thanks.
So,
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.